remember doing Lee, Massachusetts, I think, for Jeff Apotheca.
Who's that?
You just call up, this back the day, you called up answering machines, and the answering machine would just go like, "You've reached Jeff Apotheca." No, you've reached Master of Ceremonies, Jeff Apotheca, or something like that. And you're like, yeah, hey, my name's Bill Burr. I got 10 clean minutes. I can do 15, trying to get your spot. So he booked me in Lee, Massachusetts. I remember it was exit 2 off of the Mass Pike, and I went out there, and it was the biggest hell gig I ever did. It was this restaurant area, and then next to it was a function where a bachelor party was going on, and there was no door between their room and where I was doing comedy. So I was standing on stage, and these guys started gathering from the bachelor party, and just seeing this redheaded jerk-off with a baby face bombing in front of 3 people eating chicken pot pie. And I was looking over. I was like, I didn't get what was going on because I was so dumb. I was just like, hey, guys, you want to come into the show? There's plenty of seats. I don't know why you got to stand over there, right? And I looked away, and then I just heard, boom! I turned around, and somebody threw this dinner roll like 90 miles an hour at me and just missed me. And I looked, and they were all gone. And then I was on the mic, and I snapped. As you always do when you like that. And I forget what I was saying a bunch of shit about him. And then they started gathering at the door. And then I was finishing my set. And I was like, these guys are going to beat the out of me. And I'm looking at the owner. Now, the owner told me before I went on stage, he goes, yeah. Well, the bartender says, yeah, this is the owner. He also does stand-up comedy. And I was like, really? And the guy goes, yeah. He goes, I got like 2.5 hours of material. I go, oh, yeah? 2.5 hours? He goes, yeah, and after tonight, I'll have about 3. So I thought he was fucking with me. So as I'm standing on stage, after they throw the dinner roll and shit, and they're gathered over there or whatever, I'm trying to go back into my act, and I look out in the crowd, and I finally notice it, and the owner is sitting there writing down what I'm saying on stage. And so long story short, I ended up leaving, get off stage, and I was just feeling them. Like to the side of me as I was getting paid by this guy. All I had to do was look at them, and they were going to beat the fuck out of me. It was one of those things where I had to literally I so wanted to just tell them to go fuck themselves. But I mean, I would have probably lost to one of them. I'm not the best fighter, but I was enraged. And I just remember getting into my 83 Ford Ranger, driving out of there, yelling at them as they were on the, like, yeah, you driving out all high-pitched and just driving home, screaming at my windshield as I was driving home. What the fuck kind of a owner has a bachelor party and you're writing down my material? Had a total meltdown driving home, and I had to be back at work the next day at like 7 in the morning. But what got me through it was I came home that night, and I either called Dane or Patrice, rest his soul, and I told the story, and they were just laughing, which just made, it just brings you back down. And then they, I had this gig and this happened and blah, 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 blah. But like, that's probably the closest I ever came to getting into, or at least wanting to get into, like, forgetting that I didn't know how to fight. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, I could do some bullshit, but I mean, there's no way I'm taking on fucking 5 fucking guys. But I just remember them standing there. I still remember the guy that threw the roll, and I still remember the smile on his face. He was just like almost lustfully wanting me to say something so he could just beat the shit out of me. Like, and that would have been one of those Boston beatdowns where somebody fucking bites your ear off or something. Like, there was always that story. That oh my God.